Here we are again, happy as can be. Oh dear, that was way too jolly. Okay, so I want to show you my create a garden first of all in the journal. So we are looking for the 6th. There we go. So as you can see, this is why I needed to stitch my signature in place, because I've used mainly napkins on this image, and the napkin that I'd got, I wanted it to go right the way across the page. So I'll give you a bit of a close-up and I'll point out some different bits for you. So the napkin didn't quite fill the page, so I inked up this top edge and then got a stamp out and just stamped a little bit of text on top of it, and then I added some more napkin on top of that so it kind of blends in a little bit better. I ripped the edges of the first napkin so that they were slightly jagged and therefore blended in a little bit better. What I then did was I got some of my stickers out and I went through some more floral napkins. I found the word du jardin. It was actually fleur du jardin, which is flowers of the garden, I believe. Could be wrong. And I decided to take the fleur bit off because it was too big, so I just used the words du jardin. But I then laid my sticky labels and my other napkin ripped out pieces on top until I was happy with what's called a composition. So I was happy with how the overall look of it went, and I stuck the background pieces on first. So that was this sticky label here, this one here, there's 2 there, there's another one here, and then I layered the other napkins then on top of that. Now I've painted the whole surface of it with my Ranger matte medium glue. Have I got it to hand? Yes, I have. So that was the glue that I've used on the top to blend them all together. So it's the Ranger multi-medium matte glue. And then I got out some little teeny tiny butterflies and stuck 3 of those on, and then added some stickles on top and just smeared the stickles about a bit so that I've got some glittery flutterbys. So yeah, I think you can see the glitter on those, can't you? So I added the butterflies then on top. I had to cut out the little area here where the date was so that you could see that still. But that's my garden, and in fact that is probably, if I had a garden, that is how it would look. Bit of a mess, but lovely, because I'm not one for gardening. I don't like worms and bugs. So in some ways it's probably a good job I've not got a garden. Okay, let's get on with today's prompt. And I'm wanting the 7th of February. There we go. So I've got just a single page here, which makes a nice refreshing change from all the doubles that I've been doing. Let me sit that on there. Okay, so the 7th of the 2nd, 21. And the prompt for this one, just trying to remember what it was. Oh yeah. So it's alter the picture. Okay. Draw my little screws. Someone asked me on one of the other videos, how did I draw my circles so well? And I said it's a little bit like Tim Holtz's, what's that saying that he uses? Perfectly imperfect. So if you have a close look at my circles, they're not perfect circles by any stretch of the imagination. So that's that. So we'll ink this up, stick this in place, and then I'll go through some of the options with you. So what would be my interpretation of altering a picture? Well, you know, I know that we're all going to have different ideas of what that actually means, and I'm going to give you some examples of things that you could do. So if you are a regular viewer of my channel, you'll know that recently I sat and sorted out all my books and magazines, and I'm just trying to pick up the folders, and I sorted them into various little pouches. So I've got animals in one, miscellaneous in another, household stuff in another. So these are great for altering pictures. Now, as I was sorting out, I'd also got some full pages of images as well, which obviously I didn't want to fold up. I wanted to keep them nice and flat. So these full images are in their own wallet. But this would be sort of a good example. And I've actually done this technique before in one of my glue books, which is where you cut this into strips and then you lay the strips back down onto the page, but you leave a gap in between each of the strips so that you get a larger image, but you still get the full image. So that's one thing that you could do. Another thing is, many people like to do a lot of this as well, is you get an image of a face and then you alter it by cutting out eyes from a different picture and added them on. You cut out different lips and add them on. You cut out funny hats or crowns and add them on. So that's another way of altering an image. Let me just try and find what I would think would be suitable for this next suggestion. Oh, she'd be quite a good one. So with this one, what again you could do is cut it into strips this way, so horizontally, all right, and then you get a punch. So you get either a circle punch, a square punch, a hexagon punch, and from those strips you cut them out in sequence using the punch shape, and then you rearrange those punch shapes on the page so that there's a gap in between each one, and then you do the next row and you do the same again. You punch out those shapes and then rearrange them on the page so that again they're in the correct sequence. So then you're only getting a partial image of the original image. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. You could also then do like maybe a stained glass window effect. So you cut all of these into really irregular shapes and then arrange them on the page to give the effect of it being stained glass. So you could do that. You could cut out wavy shapes, really irregular wavy shapes, and arrange those on the page, and you've got something completely different. With the irregular shapes, you could arrange them back into its original format but leave a space in between each of the pieces, or you could totally rearrange them so that they don't match up with the picture at all, and then you've got an effect of colour and an effect of light and dark shades, and that could really be interesting as well. Of course, the other sort is to do a little bit of a collage, and I've shown these again on the video where I was sorting out my magazine pieces. So you could actually do some collage pieces. So here there's lots of different images on here that I've stuck onto this piece of card to create a new image. So I cut her out, I cut the handbag out, this was a jumper, I've cut out the flower, this was a building that I've put in the background, and then I've added some words onto it. With this one, it was a face, cut out the background, cut out the lipsticks, cut out a new pair of lips for her, and then again added some more words. So there's all sorts of different options of taking a picture and making a new picture from it. So again, And I know I keep saying this, I'm becoming repetitive and boring. I'm intrigued to see what you come up with for this particular prompt. And I hope that you enjoyed my garden that I created as well. Looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with that one too. And I'll see you all again in the next video. Thanks for joining me today. Bye for now.